Pat Robertson spoke about atheist parents, and his advice is pretty much exactly what you would have guessed.
This past weekend, my 6-year-old grandson said that his dad told him God and Jesus were not real and were just made up to scare people about dying. I tried to explain the truth to him, but he won't believe me. I'm worried for my grandson's soul.
Well, you should be. If there's any way you can get that child away from it, this is his grandfather who's telling him
It's
this.
his father.
Father telling him that.
So I don't know if that's her son or her son-in-law. She doesn't know what to say.
I don't know. And but if there's any way you could get him enrolled in a Christian school or get him into some, they have daily vacation Bible school and things, or a youth group. There are all kinds of things you could do to kind of get him into some positive influences.
You know, another thing that would be great for her would be Superbook.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's all Bible stories, and
get a set of that and show it to him and see what happens. All right.
You're an anti-atheist bigot, is what you are. It's so ironic because all Pat Robertson does is scream about victimization of Christians. Oh my God, we're under attack, even though we're over 70% of the population and we're the overwhelming majority of elected people in office, and we've been getting our way for pretty much since the beginning of the U.S. We were founded as a secular nation, but the people are overwhelmingly religious, and unfortunately, especially at the state level, many conservative states just, flat out ignore the fact that we're a secular nation. So as they are victimizing others, they scream that they are the victim. But here's a clear case where it's pretty much black and white, where he is an anti-atheist bigot. Think about what he said. He said you should take away kids from their atheist parents and send them to Christian school. He's speaking specifically to the grandparents there. Oh, you better take that kid away and send that kid to a Christian school. You can't have that kid listening to their evil atheist parents. Now, I want you to stop for a second and flip the script and imagine that was the case. So you have parents who are Christians who send their kids to a Christian school, Catholic school, whatever. And you have atheist grandparents who say, oh, well, this cannot stand. We're now just going to take your kids away from you so that they don't go to the school that you want them to go to. How would Pat Robertson react? Immediately, oh my God, anti-Christian discrimination, this is bigotry, we're the victims, see, we're the victims. You're taking kids away from their parents because you don't agree with the parents. How insane are you? How backwards are you? But when it's atheist parents, oh, of course I think you should do that. The atheists are atheists. They're evil. See, what's the core ideology here? What does it go back to? It goes back to the idea that people conflate atheism with immorality. So you hear this question, they're like, well, the grandpa said to the kid that, Jesus isn't real. It's like Santa Claus or whatever. But what are they not telling you? They're not telling you the rest of what the majority of atheist parents would say. What would they say? If they teach their kids, hey, be reasonable, look at evidence, don't buy into anything anybody tells you, be skeptical, evaluate things, read things. They don't tell you the rest of the story. They don't tell you that, even if you look at polling data, atheists are the furthest thing from immoral. They have very strong beliefs, by and large, statistically. Like they're more likely to be pro-gay rights, for example. They're more likely to stand up for individual liberties. They're more likely to be anti-war, again, according to the polls. So this idea that, atheism is equal to immorality, that's just fundamentally not correct. It's inaccurate. It's false. But in Pat Robertson's mind, he is an anti-atheist bigot, so he can't escape it. He just thinks, no, atheism is immoral because it's not Christian. Therefore, yes, the grandparents should have a right to take away the kids from their atheist parents because, oh my God, you're doing child abuse to the kid. Now, let me be clear about something here. I do not think that, if you raise a kid in a moderately religious household, that's child abuse. I don't think it is. But what's more like child abuse? Raising a kid in an atheist household or raising a kid in a fundamentalist religious household? Oh, see, now we're actually having a conversation about child abuse. Now that might actually be child abuse. If you're raising a kid in a fundamentalist religious household, if you're raising your kid to be a Wahhabist Muslim, a Salafist Muslim, Ooh, you're bordering on child abuse there if you raise your kid to believe in Christian dominionism. You know, the extreme Christian ideology that thinks that they should have dominion over the entire world. If you raise your kid into any hardcore fundamentalist ideology, like, neo-Confederate ideology, for example. Granted, that's not officially a religion, but the ideology functions like a religion, where, it's an in-group, out-group mentality. There are rigid beliefs about race. It's uncompromising in its racist beliefs and just bad beliefs across the board and ultra-conservative beliefs. If you raise your kid in a neo-Confederate household, in a KKK household, in a neo-Nazi household, in a fundamentalist Christian household, in a fundamentalist Muslim household, now you're talking about child abuse. If you're talking about raising your kid in a secular household, in an atheist household, and the idea is you just teach the kid, care about evidence, care about reason. Not only are those things not comparable, one is the polar opposite. One is how you should raise a kid. One is raising a kid properly to be a functioning adult, and the other one is brainwashing and oftentimes creating a dangerous person. If you raise your kid to believe in Christian dominionism or fundamentalist Islam or any other hardline belief, that kid could be fucking dangerous. That kid could be dangerous. So naturally, Pat Robertson always has it backwards, but the most important point that I keep wanting to stress is, just imagine for a second the roles were reversed. Just imagine there were some moderate Christians and atheist grandparents said, I'm going to take the kids away from you because you're a moderate Christian. Pat Robertson would lose it, rightfully so. But when it's atheist, not only does he not lose it to defend the atheist, he's in favor of it. He's like, yeah, take away. If the parents are atheists, take the kids away, if you're the Christian grandparents, and send them to a Christian school. No. See, it all goes back to the main point. He thinks Christians are victimized. Furthest thing from it. We live in a country where oftentimes Jews are victimized, Muslims are victimized, atheists are certainly victimized as well. 7 states, it's illegal for atheists to run for office. We've spoken about that before. That's unconstitutional, to be clear, so on the federal level, that overrides it, right? But the fact it's still on the books says something. If it said on the books, gays can't run for office in Arkansas, Christians can't run for office in Arkansas, blacks can't run, everybody would be like, whoa, what the fuck, get rid of that. When it's atheists, according to the polls, atheists are the least liked minority group in the country. The least liked. We live in a country where they're more likely to vote for a Muslim politician than an atheist politician. And again, Muslims have it rough in America. There's anti-Muslim discrimination and sentiment all around America. But atheists are below them. So, again, he's screaming that Christians are victimized. Furthest thing, they are the ones victimizing others, as he's proving right here.